What's up everybody, it's DJ Alex Brown here today doing another review video for Betopper. We have a very cool wash light to review in this video today, and that's what's in this box right next to me. So without further ado, let's get right into taking a look at this light and doing a little unboxing. Here's the box, and it does have some branding on it, but it's a little bit more of a normal cardboard box and not as much of a branded box like we've seen on some of the other Betopper lights I've reviewed on the channel. And you can check those videos out at a little card that I'm going to put up in the corner over here. So, what is this light? What does it do? Well, this is the LM1915R or 1915R, and if you didn't guess it already or read it in the video title, this is a 19 by 15 watt RGBW LED wash moving head. And it has a ring, which is probably what the R is for. So let's get this box opened up. So first thing we see in the box here is a cleaning cloth and the manual. Let's throw that out because I never read those. A mounting bracket and the light itself. Now I have already opened this light up before the video, but you also get your standard DMX cable. It's a affordable DMX cable, let's say, and a PowerCon cable. So for size comparison, that's a size comparison for you. Pretty large, definitely the largest in size light that I've reviewed from Betopper so far. Now with this light in particular, now before we get into actually talking about all the features of this light and taking an in-depth look at this, all the other things that are necessary for a review video, I want to go grab another light that I have from Betopper and just give you a little bit of a size. This is a 7 times 40 watt LED light, and I just want to show you this for comparison. I've already done a review on it on the channel. I'll leave a link to that review. So this is your size comparison. Again, this is a 7 times 40 watt. The front lens spins, so it can kind of do like a kaleidoscope, but it also zooms. 19 times 15 watts is just shy of a 300 watt light, so the wattage of the two lights are pretty similar, but you also have this LED ring on this one that we'll take a look at. So that's one of the key differences, that similar in brightness, very different lights practically when you're actually taking a look at them. So we're going to start with an overview look at the light, the features, and different pieces of the light that I want to tell you about. And then we'll actually plug this into some DMX control and do a demo of the light, go through all the DMX modes, and actually test the light out and show you what this light can do. So if you want to skip to that part in the video, I'll leave you a little timestamp that you can skip to right now. Now, since I've had a couple of different Betopper lights in the past, I just want to make a comment on the manual for this light, because this is definitely a more in-depth manual than I've seen with other Betopper lights. So it's a different paper material, and it has a little bit more information inside. And if you have not already seen my video on beginner DMX with the 80J WMX1 or Wolf Mix W1, this is where you would find all your controls and DMX tables, which would be in the manual. And if you want to check that video out, where we also use a lot of Betopper lights for that video, you can go check that out at the card right over here. Now, something I commonly mention in my moving head light videos is the brackets. This is definitely a heavy-duty bracket, and I do like to see that it has a detachable bracket, especially on a light this size. This bracket has 2 clamping holes. So in theory, you could actually well, it has 3 clamping holes. I misspoke there. But you could, in theory, put a clamp here and a clamp, and then you have 2 clamping points, and then the light won't spin. So because this is such a long bracket, I am actually okay with the fact that it only has the 1 single bracket. And I don't have anything to say about the cables besides that this is a more value-friendly DMX cable, probably not one I would use, but if you're just getting started out, if you're a beginner, and you need a couple DMX cables, that should work fine for you. I've also mentioned in my videos, like every time I get a DMX cable, that I do like when they have black ends, because I use that to help me and my staff differentiate what a DMX cable is and what an XLR cable is, because they do have some slight differences and you should really be using a DMX cable. PowerCon cable is a PowerCon cable. Yeah, I'd say it's about 4 feet long. So it is a little on the short side. Doesn't concern me very much, because a lot of times you're going to have to put some sort of extension cord on it anyway. So 4-foot cable doesn't really matter to me, but I would like to see something a little bit longer. The pricing can always change online, but for the best deal, make sure you go to the Betopper website and not Amazon. I know some people have mentioned on my review videos before that they go to Amazon to purchase it because they like the ability to return it. I'm going to reach out to Betopper about their return policy and see if I can just add that in the video here, because I think everyone interested in this light would, I think we'd all rather that you purchase it from Betopper direct. So accessories like this really don't matter that much. You can replace those pretty cheap and easy. If you want a longer cable, you can buy one. The light itself, that's where things get really important. Now, I've seen a couple of Betopper lights recently that have come with a cleaning cloth, which I think is interesting. It's nice to have a little something you can just clean the lens with. I already have fingerprints on this lens somehow, probably because I've been touching it, showing it to you. I don't know how necessary it is that it comes with a cleaning cloth, but it's always a nice benefit. Now, let's take a look at the actual casing of this light. You have your typical 4-button display here. This is a LCD display, color display, so not like a 4-character 7-segment display. An LCD display is definitely necessary on a moving head of this size. We'll actually check that display out a little bit later when we actually do that DMX demo. As you can see, you have your typical little icon on here, just telling you the light brand and name. You don't have that posted anywhere else around the light. I know I've had a couple comments on other videos that people are like, oh, I hate that it says the name on the light. And I'm like, why? Common to not have a logo on it. But the logo on this one, very unassuming. And this is one, it's not like necessarily built into the shell. I guess if it was really a problem for you, you could probably stick a little knife in here and just like pop the little logo sticker off. Flipping this light around to the back, we do have a fuse, a switch for review videos. We have PowerCon input and output, always good to see that. And then we have DMX input and output as well. The only thing I'm noticing with the DMX in and out that just might be something you want to keep in mind is it doesn't seem like it's a screwed in plate. It seems like it's probably built into the body somewhere inside. It doesn't seem to be part of the shell necessarily, but it's probably a little harder to replace these XLRs than it would be on some of the other Betopper lights that the XLR is more easily replaceable, just has some screws just like these do. That can vary based on the light, of course, and I've personally never had to replace a DMX port on a light, so I don't think that's going to be much of a problem for anyone. You can also see the back of the head on this light. There is some vents here for cooling. There are also some vents around the side here for cooling and airflow, and the same on the other side. There's also some vents on the side here, some on the back side that you can't see, for ventilating the base, and you have integrated handles into the plastic body. Now, all of the construction of the light is plastic. I'll talk about this a little later on, but I did notice when I took this light out of the box that it was very lightweight for a moving head of this size. It's still heavy, don't get me wrong. You do have a metal piece here where you can attach a safety cable. So there's this little metal loop built into the light, always good to see that. There is also a little screw hole here. I'm not sure if you can screw in maybe another eyelet to use for another safety cable if you wanted to. And then you have your 2 pieces here where you can mount the light just like this. Tighten that on, and that's where you'd put your clamps on. Now, when it comes to talking about the light itself and the construction, While this is a plastic base, you are connecting into metal, it seems, inside. It's really hard to see, but there is, inside this plastic shell, there is a piece of metal that everything is connected to. So if you wanted to hang this light, I would not be concerned about hanging it on clamps. There is metal in there that everything is seemingly attached to. I'm not going to pull the entire light apart to, take a look at that. But face here, this is your 19 by 15 watt, all these huge LEDs, and you have these big lenses on here as well. This lens here can zoom forward and backwards to adjust the angle of the beam, which I personally like very much. I think zoom is necessary on any LED wash light, and realistically any LED moving head at this point in time. It's such a simple feature to have. Now, as a fun fact, this light does have 3 different channel modes for control, 15, 24, and 32 channel. Now, there's actually a very nice table that I've never seen anything like this before in the manual for how to control this light, because instead of having 3 different DMX tables, it has 1 table, and it just tells you what channel mode each thing is. So I don't know if you can see this here, but like up to 12, it's almost all the same. And then right here, when it switches, you start to have slashes for things that are not enabled when you're in that 15 channel mode versus 24. And then
so I just wanted to take a quick look at the display on this light. So it's a very nice display. Actually, it's very nicely laid out. It has icons and everything. So just like every other light, you have very good manual control, except this light's manual control is actually very good. But you have your typical info, set your channel modes. I'm gonna put this into 32 channel mode so we can, and setup. You can set the DMX address, a bunch of other things, pan and tilt inversions, all the important stuff, just like any other.
So I did already add the profile for this light onto the WMX. I apologize if you can hear a noise in the background. It's the fan on the light. I'm sure it'll turn off in a moment, but if you are not sure how to load profiles on a DMX controller, where to find the profiles for this light, I would suggest checking out another video I recently posted about beginner DMX. I was able to find the profile for this light pretty quickly just by searching 19 by 15 called and everything, but it looks like the manufacturer is Big Dipper or something for this light. So for some reason when I type Betopper, it never comes up. It's really weird. Even though it's usually there, it just takes a little bit of digging. So with about a minute worth of digging, I was able to find it. It's very important to have your user manual when you're doing this, but luckily this light is pretty well programmed into the DMX table. I am using this on 32 channel mode so we can see every single possible function. And this controller that I'm using, it is the ADJ WMX1. I will leave a product link to this controller in the description of the video as well. So first up, we have pan. Pretty standard, it's just pan. You have fine pan, which is very fine. I'm not gonna go into that. You have your tilt. It does go pretty far down. I usually like to tell you guys how far the angle is compared with what it's advertised as. This is a pretty far angle down, but of course you also have the zoom, which is going to help make that beam wider as well. We have speed, not something I usually talk too much about, but just that's your pan and tilt speed, so you can slow it down. You have your zoom, so that should be this lens here. Now the fan on this light is a little bit loud. It's only running like 1 LED right now, and it's a little bit, the fan is running. It's not the worst loud fan on the planet. We'll add a little bit of green. I have to say the color mixing is very good on this light. So with this channel mode, I actually have control over the center ring of LEDs separately from the outer ring of LEDs. And so I'll make the center ones blue, and then this outer ring is red. So you can see this is a very cool effect. Of course, this is going to result in purple light, but also there's also a center LED that I'm assuming we can also control. So let's make that one green. So now we have all of the different colors. Now, Of course, you're going to have more light being produced by these outer LEDs than the inner ones and the inner center one. And you have red, green, blue, and white on each one of these rings that you can control. So you can make the whole thing one color if you want. In just a moment, I'll show you how this looks with the WMX running it, because I'm very interested to see that. A bunch of the rest of these channels are colors and speeds, if you can see that. Now, channel number 22, which is called model in the manual, has a bunch of different effects, so you can see some of those effects, what it's doing here. And for that one, there's also a speed that we can control the speed that it's doing it at, and that is channel number 23. Then we have number 24 is shutter or strobe for just the auxiliary light, which I'm assuming this is the red for. That is correct. Now I'm just going to make that auxiliary light. That auxiliary light is only RGB. So you have this exterior ring that you can control. I'm going to make it blue, which is very cool. You have this ring, and the center. If you use 32 channel mode, there are simpler modes that you can use as well. You can see there's also this cool effect where you can have it go around the edge. That is only accessible by using channel number 28, which is a model, it's called, but it seems like it's kind of like a program. Now, I think this is a very cool effect. I really like this. I might even purchase another one of these lights just so that I can have something with this effect, because I think this right here is pretty cool. But I also want to show you how the WMX interprets it, because I think that is important as well. So I think that's most of the features of this light to explain to you. Let's now take a look at what the WMX does with this light. So what's very interesting about the way this light interprets the DMX signal from the WMX is you can see that the outer ring is interpreting everything differently than the rest, and that there's a certain order that all this is getting told to do things in. So I don't have any fancy programming on this light right now. This is just the way the WMX treats it. And the reason for this is because the WMX has a phase adjustment, so I can make it all go at the same time if I want, or I can adjust the phase so that it's all going at separate times. And with a light like this, that makes for a really, really cool effect with all these different rings that you can control. All right, everyone, so let's take a moment to wrap this video up. Very quickly, let's talk about the pros and cons of this light I have next to me here. First of all, pros, it is extremely affordable, as are all of the Betopper lights that I've reviewed, and it's good quality at a good price. Second pro, you get all the cables, everything short of a clamp that you need within the box, or technically a DMX controller, to get started. Third, it's a cool light with some cool effects. The programmable ring around the edge of the light makes for a very cool effect. It's something I personally haven't had a light with before, so I'm very excited to see that. And also the ability to control the different rings from the outer to the inner, and even that single inner LED with completely different colors on all of them. And the 3 different channel modes that this light offers are very professional features that I'm very happy to see. Other benefits of the light, it is almost a 300 watt light, so there is a lot of power and a lot of light coming out of this. 2 of these lights is going to do a lot. My final note as far as the pros is that you have the LED ring that has those special modes where you can control what it's doing going around the edge. The only downside to this light that I can possibly see after reviewing it and using it and really taking an in-depth look at it is that the fan is a little bit on the loud side. I wouldn't say it's too bad, but I'd also say it really depends on your use case. I don't know if you can hear it right now. So if you're considering purchasing this light, I would just consider the fan based on what your use case is. If you're using this in a club installation, in a very loud installation, I don't think that's going to be any problem for you at all. Audio-visual production, loud environments, not a problem. No one's going to hear that fan. If it's high up in the air, no one's going to hear that fan. But at a wedding, I don't know, I'd kind of have to hear how it sounds in the room. So everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. That about wraps it up. If you want to purchase this light or check it out more, I will leave links in the video description to purchase it.
And you can check out other videos on my channel and use other links from my link tree to purchase other products that I've reviewed. I would also suggest that you check out that beginner DMX video that I made. Once again, I'm DJ Alex Brown, and thanks everyone for watching this video. Until next time, peace.